All right, we're back. It's so funny because just kicked off the first episode saying we're like primed for like a nice year of podcasting, and then we had an error on this first attempt here.
Yeah, it's always my fault. Yeah, I don't know. I run a Mac. I don't know what it is. Just got to restart it once in a while. But 2024 is here. I've been joking around. It's not optimistic as much, but let's see if we get to 2025. I think 2024 is the great filter year. Let's see if we can get through it. If we
The
do, I think we'll
great
be
filter
okay.
year.
Yes, there's just too much crazy shit going on, man.
That should be like on a
So
hat or some merch of yours. The great filter year. Just
yeah. Right on. I'm excited for this year podcast. Before you jumped on, or actually when you pre-recorded this before and it didn't work, but you said like we're kind of off into a good clip. We've got a good mix of guests. I think we can make this consistent. So I'm excited. Not sure where this will go, but like I said, it's just fun to talk about stuff relevant for our industry with you. So
100%. I watched a recent pod of some dude in this health space that I recently found on Twitter, and he posts a bunch of great content, and he has a podcast, and one of his recent ones said like powered by like Riverside or whatever up top. It was so classic to see. So
nice.
using the free version to get things started there.
Yeah, no, you got to. Why not? Everybody, I don't know. I've been telling family, or not family, but my wife's been telling it to friends. Like, oh, he's got a podcast. I'm like, yeah, but nobody listens to it. She's like, you should start a podcast. Everybody wants to start a podcast. I'm like, well, just go get Riverside, and you'll be easy enough to at least do the free version and see if you like it and see what the
Easiest
platform
thing
is.
ever
But
there.
yeah, for sure. I know the ladies were talking about doing like a murder mystery or just having talk. All the all sorts of different topics. I was thinking about maybe doing one where I like interview my friends' kids and ask them serious questions and see what the hell they came back with.
I like that.
uh,
I saw a podcast.
cool.
I saw like the Spotify like year end like Wrapped and everything, and Rogan was one on there. I think Huberman might have been too. Huberman was up there, and there was like four of like the top 10 were like murder related, and those things just
Yeah.
rake in money. Those murder podcasts, they're just so popular.
Oh yeah. For sure. For sure. It's quite yeah. I'm not totally into it, but I get it. So yeah.
Well, talking about
Cool. I
like
think
the
it,
great filter year of 2024, I feel like the first topic gives like a little teaser towards that. So you want to maybe like tee this up, like what this, I guess like policy update that Google sent out to everybody.
yeah, it's specifically for shopping ads, which is fine. Or a little odd that it was just shopping ads that it came through, but I think it's going to be in general for any search result, in my opinion. But they say it's a policy update for uh, their sensitive event. So what they call a sensitive event is an unforeseen event or development that creates significant risk to Google's ability to provide high quality, relevant information and ground truth, produce insensitive or exploitative content in prominent and monetize features. During a sensitive event, we may take a variety of actions to address these risks. Examples of sensitive events. Let's get the examples. Significant social, culture, or political impact, such as civil emergencies, natural disasters, public health emergencies, terrorism, and related conflicts and mass acts of violence. So I don't know. It was kind of a small update that they sent through, but you start reading through it, it's like, what do they know? That's going to happen 2024 that they're kind of hedging their bets putting this policy out there. I'm sure it's my conspiracy theory hat on. But I was just like, man, that's one way to start off 2024. It's like if shit hits the fan, we can manipulate the search results or what ads you can run. Which I don't know. What's your thoughts on it, Trevor? What are your feelings on it?
It does. I do think it seems just kind of weird, just because like if you think about like they updated the inappropriate content to clarify the definition of sensitive events. Like that's like that should be a pretty straightforward like what a sensitive event is and like what their policy is. So just the fact that that's updated seems like a flag because it's like that should be seems like a pretty straightforward thing like what would be a sensitive event, what they would want to filter out. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That's a little flag to me of like, well, what would you even update in that? And then you read through civil emergencies, natural disasters, public health emergencies, terrorism, and related activities of conflict or mass acts of violence. I definitely could see how this is sketchy. The fact that this is updated, because like we said, like should be pretty straightforward. But then I don't know, maybe it had to do with like COVID, the wars that are going on right now, the response to COVID, election coming up now. We got like
Here's
multiple
the
wars on front. Maybe they're just
yeah, but
like it's getting a little weary out here and like I don't know. Things got off the
yeah,
rails in the past couple of years.
yeah. So here's the thing: even with like COVID, right? When they had policy updates right away when that happened. Like you couldn't bid on masks, right? That was a huge thing. We actually had a client that was trying to do that at the time. They were creating masks. They shift their product lines to do so, etc. Um, and it wasn't necessarily malicious, but I could see they were trying to go after malicious actors that were trying to bid on and buy masks, for
Yeah.
sale, etc. And so they modified their policy at that time to do so. I don't think anybody really cared too much. So like we know that they have policies when certain things happen in the past. They've already done it, right? They've already kind of manipulated what can and cannot be bid on. Um, Here, I just find it a little interesting that they're specifically saying like what is a sensitive event, um, and kind of putting it out there. It's like I don't know. I just felt like we already kind of knew that they would do certain things like this, but then to call it out and then give us examples of what they think a sensitive event is, it's like okay, 2024. It's like the roulette wheel. What do we get to look forward to? Which one do you want? A natural disaster, civil emergency, public health emergencies, terrorism, you know, political impact. So I don't know. I just thought the timing was interesting. I'm probably overthinking it a bit much. I have seen some um, on X. I did see a couple people kind of making this a bigger conspiracy theory as it needs to be, but they get the context completely wrong on it. So um, I don't know. Just thought it was an interesting way to kick off 2024.
Plus, I think there's like a lot of speculation right now online, just in general, like something's going to happen. Um, I don't know if you saw the Netflix movie, Leave the World Behind.
Yeah, I watched it this past weekend.
You did? Six. I thought it was awesome. I thought it. Did you like it?
Yeah, I thought it was great. Some of these people that were in the film, I was like, you guys are dumb. Like, you're not even prepared or even like situationally aware. But I thought it was well put together. The way the events seemed logical, to a certain extent. But yeah, I thought it was
Extremely
good.
believable.
Yeah, 100%.
It, extremely believable. And some people I talked to who watch it weren't a fan of the ending. I don't know. I kind of like the way it ended. I thought it was like I like the way they tied everything up where it wasn't like people wanted like more to the ending, but I kind of like thought it was like a poetic ending. I don't know. I kind of liked it, but I say that to say that like Obama was an executive producer on that, so like everybody was like naturally theorizing, well, like what does he know? Like is that like a primer to like the public and everything? I saw some like TikTok video that like Zuckerberg is building like a mansion in Hawaii and it's like fully decked out with like a base to it of um like a place to like have plants grow with like lights in there, stockpile everything like a full blown bunker. So I feel like it's theorized that this is the year that like something like really hits the fan here.
Yeah, I mean, if I was rich enough, I would make a bunker. Why not? Like it's
Same.
sure you don't want it to happen, but if it does, you have some insurances. People might think you're a little crazy doing it, but if you've got that much money, why not? And it can be something fun to do because it can be educational about how certain things work, be it air supply, water supplies, rations, this, that, medical equipment you might need. So you become a little bit more reliant on yourself in those situations. So there could be some positives, even if nothing does happen. But if you have the money to do so, it's not like you're being harmful to anybody else. You're just, being resourceful. So, yeah, it's kind of a creepy movie in the theme of it, the Obamas. But I heard it was a book beforehand, so I'm not sure how the book related into the Obamas change it too much or they change it a lot, etc. So, I don't know. Verdicts out there. So, but yeah, it's kind of an interesting start of the year with the 2024 this Google update. You get this movie. You got that other movie that's coming out. That's what Civil War. It's like,
Something like that. Yeah.
oh man, they're just really pushing it. Like, I don't know. They're really pushing the agenda that shit's gonna hit the fan. So I guess maybe we're not surprised when it does. But I don't know. I'm
I
cautiously optimistic.
I feel like the doomsday bunk like building a bunker used to be like such like a tin hat thing and like this dude is a crazy person talking about that. I feel like COVID like totally changed the game though, and now that's like not crazy. Like I think I said this on a previous episode when we were talking about Starlink. Like my goal is to have a place in the suburbs where like not like 100% fully like self-sufficient, but like close to. Like would love to have like a garden there. Would love to have like Starlink as a connect. Love to have some solar panels, and maybe like a water filtration system. Like I think having some self resilience in your home is like a smart thing. It's not like a tin hat idea anymore. I feel like that is completely flipped of the
I
perception of
think it was
that.
just an example that with COVID that it gave a person um, you know I don't know, it's kind of a reality check that the government's not going to always have your back or everything is going to be fine. Someone's going to take care of it for you.
100%.
And so it's a reality check. We're like, okay, maybe I need to start doing it for myself. And it's honestly, it's not a bad thing at all. You're becoming more reliant on yourself and your home and your loved ones. It's not like you're out doing drugs and causing ill will and spending money that way. So yeah, I think it's okay. It's totally fine to do.
100%.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one. So that's more to come, and something to keep an eye out here of what pans out in this upcoming year here. In terms of like some updates on the Google ad side of things, I think I wanted to at least just mention two things that have been flagged in the past couple of weeks to me here, that like I wasn't aware of prior, that I'm sure anybody running Google Ads accounts should be aware of. So two kind of like auto opt-ins that Google does on your behalf there, within your Google Ads account. So if you're managing campaigns, one things that I would recommend you do is check at your campaign level or even the account level. If you're using any type of assets, so any type of extensions like structured snippets, call outs, site links, any type of extension, if you are using any of those, Google will automatically opt you in to have them build extensions on your behalf. So, say for example, you just have like a site link that's live within your ad account, that will automatically get you into the loop that Google can then create extensions on your behalf. Say, for example,
Any
you have a
type of
site link,
extension?
they could then create a call out. They can then create a structured snippet. They can create a site link, an image extension, any other assets they would just create on your behalf. Now they would pull the content from your site and copy from your site, but like a lot of it can be dynamic there as well, where maybe they're like swapping in some keywords that users are searching. So like if your client ever sees like some messaging in the wild from extensions, or like I have no idea like where these are coming from and how this is even in my account, it's because Google automatically defaults you into that setting. That is like such a sneaky little
And they're
thing.
auto published.
Auto publishing it for you as well.
Wow. So that's interesting. The only comment I would say is like, yeah, sure. Clients ask like, where did this ad copy come from or this image? I've seen that happen for sure. I have actually seen performance with link extensions and some other extensions kind of um, have like less of a performance factor, like actually a negative effect. It's kind of a rare example, but I have seen like site links get deployed, and the keywords that someone is searching for, they click on some other site link, and it's just not a really high converting page. Like you're trying to get it to the landing page, but all of a sudden you have site
Yep.
links enabled, and they go to your home page. Then that conversion rate goes down, and you can see like I don't know, I'm throwing these fake numbers out there, but I don't know, let's say 25% of all of our traffic was going to our site links and none of them converted. So it's like, why would I do that? And I should just shove it into that one URL. So, I mean, it's academic. It's more of like their site links cause an effect, but if they're enabling even another extension, a phone extension, all of a sudden you get site links and you get traffic from paid media away from your landing page. Yeah, that could be a major issue from a performance
Could be a
perspective.
major issue. And also too, especially like I feel like this happens a bit more with like enterprise level clients where um and like publicly traded clients, they're very particular with their ad copy and their
Oh,
messaging, and
100%.
usually have like legal teams. So even if it's like innocuous and doesn't seem like a big deal, like I don't know, it just could really reflect poorly on your team there,
Oh,
and they could like
100%. If
lose some
they're in
trust in you.
healthcare, if they're in the healthcare space, I mean, most of that, all that ad copy has to go to a legal review board. They have to approve it. One small little change could negatively affect it. They could actually get sued. You ended up getting sued for it. And you're going to say Google just auto applied it. That's going to be hard to say. I mean, talking about
That's
that,
a whole.
how does Google even tell you they have been applied? Is there like a notification like we have applied this? Like, how do you gonna get an email about it? Because I feel like they're gonna go under the radar that they've been applied.
Completely under the radar. You would have no idea unless you caught it in the wild or just like somebody flagged it to you. And it's like the sketchiest little area, like the most hidden area in the Google Ads account to like find and how to like opt out of it. Um, it's at the account level there. I would recommend everybody take a look into that because otherwise, there's no way you're going to figure that out unless your client calls you out or you just figured out that that something's in the wild that you have no idea how it got there.
It sounds like you should do a quick LinkedIn video post of this of like, hey, this is how you opt out. I think that would go useful because you do that, then I'll share it to my base, and
All
that'll be the clip I use. So
right. I'm making a note there. That's actually a really good call out. And then the second thing along these lines here as well is I know a lot of ad accounts have adopted Performance Max. Performance Max campaigns originally released as like an updated shopping campaign version, but now a lot of like B2B lead gen clients use it as well. It performs well in both like shopping as well as lead gen scenarios. There, it's really starting to get a bit more refined. But the one thing that I don't think is obvious is within Performance Max, if you launch a Performance Max campaign and you don't provide a video with it, Google will automatically create videos on your behalf. And there's no way to opt out of it. There's no way to opt out of it
what does
unless you
videos look
place a
like?
video. So it kind of depends. Sometimes they'll pull them from your website, or sometimes they'll do kind of like a GIF slideshow where they have like templatized like uh, like versions of like whatever that like kind of like GIF slash video looks like, and add in
Hmm.
some images of yours. Um, but there's no way to get out of it. The only way to get out of it is to add a video of yours to the campaign. Otherwise, you can't opt out of it. It's not possible. It is automatically applied on your behalf if you launch a Performance Max campaign with no video in it, which seems insane. Like that just seems crazy, but that's a real thing. Google's documentation states there's just no way you can get out of it other than adding your
On
own video.
on PMAX campaigns, do they give you a breakdown of like placement performance of like this video did this, your search ads did that? Do they break it down?
Nope. No, they do not. But there's a
So you have no
script.
idea.
There's a
Go
script
ahead.
I got off of I think GitHub that you could run in your account, and that script will give you the percentage breakdown between any of your placements. Otherwise, Google doesn't give that to you out of the box there.
Okay, let's get that script too. I'd be curious about that because this is like I'd be very curious that what that breakdown would be of sure in general placement. That's good to know. But also, let's say you didn't add a video and 40% of your spend is going to a video you didn't even create, and it's probably not even performing. You know, it's like
Yep.
it's a nice way to waste money potentially, but you'd hope that all trust in PMax, right? That they wouldn't optimize to the video that you didn't give them, but I don't know if they would.
It's just so sketchy, some of these things that happen in these ad accounts, and it's just frustrating because like this image extension or this video, if clients see that and it's not approved, like they just lose trust in Google's product. So it's like Google, sure, you're going to make some money on the edges and you're going to increase your value, but like at what cost? Because I feel like at a certain point, people or brands can only take so much of like, hey, there's just some random messaging and videos in market that I just never approved. Like I don't know. I feel like there's a certain like point where it's like, dude, we just like can't trust you guys anymore.
Yeah, I can see too if they're pulling it off their website, there could be something that maybe is not supposed to be out to the public that somehow gets crawled. They attribute to it, and then all of a sudden you're running like assets and campaigns to stuff that shouldn't be out there. I'm specifically thinking on the healthcare space. If you're launching like a new page, somehow it gets indexed, and like man, even with like a DSA campaign, I can see that happening. Like all of a sudden they crawl the site, they see a page that's not supposed to be advertised because it's like maybe something that's about to be FDA approved, but somehow it's on the site, maybe in an unpublished but still crawlable to the search engines. They get a hold of it. All of a sudden, you got a DSA campaign going out for some sort of medication or device that helps solve something, yet it's not FDA approved, dude, they would be in such hot water on that. Yeah, that's wild.
I'm surprised there hasn't been a larger case like that that's been called, Steve. Like that there hasn't been an instance like that type of example of like, hey, one of our ads just highlighted something from our website or something that like just should not have been out there that led maybe there has been, we just haven't heard of it, but like there's
Uh-huh.
just so many of these auto opt-in things and so many like dynamic components to like extensions or videos or ad copy and stuff like I don't know. I'm surprised nothing larger like that has happened because I feel like that's a major risk on the healthcare side
It's
of things.
it's like even building your ad copy, right? Everything's dynamic now. Like you'll give them the headlines, they'll mix them in, but maybe mixing those headlines in can present the product or service or device or medication differently than what was intended.
100%.
um, Google's trying to match it all up because I remember like we had to be very specific on it, right? The exact ad copy that we're using, and just the mix and match. So you almost have to like dumb down your ad copy so if it does get mixed and matched, and your client knows that it's going to get mixed and matched, that they're okay with the context that comes off. Um, becomes very difficult to do. I wish there was an override feature. I know you can like pin in a headline to be first, but like, can you pin it all? Like only use this.
Healthcare is just a different beast there. So opt out of everything auto possible if you're working with healthcare clients to stay on the absolute safest side possible.
Yeah, super conservative when you're setting up your campaigns, and I think a lot of people they need to hire someone like us to do this because if they just say, "Hey, we're going to launch ads," they could be shooting themselves in the foot because of all these features that they don't know, and there's supposed to be
Yeah.
features that help the campaigns, but ultimately, when you need that much control over ad copy, keyword bids, even too, you need an expert that knows how to navigate the system. So yeah,
You know what's interesting there that like that we've talked about in the past is like it like and I've heard this as like for the past couple of years of like are these ad accounts just going to be so automated that like agencies aren't needed anymore, humans aren't needed anymore, a client could just like click and then just get everything set up. And I used to maybe think there's some truth to that, that maybe it gets to the point where ad platforms are so automated, it's so easy for clients to figure out how to use. But now it's like, I don't think that at all. I almost feel like you need experts who've been doing this long enough to know where to look for these auto apply sections and just key settings. Otherwise, like people could just be draining budgets and have no idea what the case is because everything looks like it's been set up properly. But like this auto extensions tab, like it takes you multiple clicks to get through and just to figure out where it's even hidden and then to know to like not have that enabled anymore. Like I almost feel like you need an expert team to help just save your money and make sure you're not just like putting
save your
your ad
money.
dollars on fire.
I wonder if that could be a good kind of value proposition that you put out there. Like we're not gonna, we're here to save you money, on your campaigns. Like run them more, efficiently, as you
Yeah.
as you go into it.
Yeah.
Man, that's interesting.
Interesting. Talking about more expensive stuff, what do we got? Like, I know you had something about like LinkedIn
Yeah,
prices here that we wanted to chat about.
I ran across a news article from marketingbeat.uk. Don't really know who they are, but they report to the Financial Times, basically saying that LinkedIn ads prices are rising, and X spend tends to be going down. This is from the beginning of the year. I would just kind of be curious to see, based off your experience and what you're seeing, do you feel like LinkedIn's getting more expensive over the last year or two? Um, or, maybe not. This study is full of shit.
I think so. I mean, I don't know. I would say like I feel like we've always viewed LinkedIn as a more expensive platform. That's just how it's been. So it's tough to say like have we noticed a measurable difference across our portfolio. I wouldn't necessarily say like a measurable difference because I feel like it's always been one of the more expensive advertising platforms, and we've always presented that and like provided those expectations up front with clients. Um, the targeting is pretty precise though. You think about like some of the job titles, some of the company information that you can get there. So like you would be willing to maybe pay a premium if you have a good understanding of the inventory you're purchasing. But I feel like the expectation's always been LinkedIn's a bit pricier.
Yeah, so it's funny. Like, I want to click on this link to see because it was reported by the Financial Times because it's like new data. But you go to it, it's like a paywall. So I don't know if it's fucking true or not. So
Damn.
yeah, it's good. Just be full of shit. That's why I was asking. What are your thoughts on it? So cool. They covered a story that I can't even quote. So maybe it's not really relevant to even talk about. I hate stories like that that link to another one that go to a paywall, and it's like, how do I get the absolute truth? Just this headline looks great, but I want to dig into it, but I can't. So that's awesome. So yeah, but I will say though, the other thing I came across is that Twitter did put out. So yeah, everybody Twitter X, they're all dogging on Twitter and etc. with the ad policy pulling out. But X, Twitter, they're trying to figure out a better way to make more money as well. One of them is that they've let's see, X put this out. More to come on this new partnership, enabling all Shopify merchants to reach even more customers by leveraging the power of X. So I don't know if they're going to pull targeting in, how they're going to work with X on this to do so. But Shopify, I mean, it is the biggest. I'm pretty sure it's the biggest e-commerce platform out there, and they can make it easier for people to integrate into Twitter ads, or maybe they can pull their audiences into other networks. That'd be really cool. But yeah, there's no more details. But that was announced on January 9th that they're doing some sort of partnership to help it easier for people to um, for Shopify merchants. So I think that's really cool
Interesting.
news.
I bet they would bring like their checkout experience to X in some capacity. Like whether on like somebody's personal page if they're promoting like their brand's products, or like the brand's page and having you give the ability to check out there. Like I know Amazon recently announced that partnership with Meta, where you can connect like your Facebook and Instagram stores to your Amazon store, and then you could check out on like Instagram and still use your like Amazon information in your Prime account. Maybe you could do something similar on Twitter and X here, where like that Shopify like stores connected directly, and you could just check out on the platform.
Yeah, I think the one thing that Shopify has done great is that all the integrations that they have with the major platforms. It's literally just like a couple clicks, and it's like it's synced to your Meta store. It's synced to your Instagram. This is just synced to probably Twitter, and it makes the integration so much easier to do things. And then if you're running ads on X, maybe you can weave in. I've never run actually shop or e-commerce ads on X to see if they'd actually convert. Um, just seems such an awareness piece.
I haven't done e-commerce on Twitter in some time either, but awareness for sure. Um,
Yeah.
the other thing that I think is really interesting about Twitter, and like I wish Elon didn't change the name to X. I'm just not a big fan of that name. Um, but I do think one thing that's like really interesting for the platform in general is like long form video content. It seems like we're going to see a whole lot more of that on the platform. Like Tucker Carlson recently started posting all of his video content just on Twitter. Now he has his own like network, which I feel like he's going to crush it on behind a paywall there.
Dude, Mr.
Mr.
Beast just
Beast
posted. Yeah, I just saw he
just
posted his
posted his
first
first
video
one,
to see what
and
kind of
I
reach.
guarantee Elon, yeah, check those views. I guarantee Elon is just going to attract a whole host of more like content creators that he's going to post on Twitter or X as like a safety blanket from like a YouTube or like other platforms that might potentially have like a different content moderation policy, where Twitter could be one of those places where like, hey, instead of like, hey, I'm thinking about Mr. Beast, I go to his YouTube channel. Maybe you think about I go to Mr. Beast's Twitter account, and there's a lot of these other
Yeah,
content
dude, the
publishers
content
on there.
providers and honestly the content creators, I should say. I mean, dude, if they can upload their to YouTube and then they can upload it to X and basically make twice as much money, or maybe not twice,
Why
but a
why
third
not
more.
do
Why
that?
not? YouTube doesn't own the
Yeah,
fucking content, right? So it
yeah.
pulls that power away from Google and YouTube and puts it elsewhere, and it gets these providers. So this video that he posted 20 hours ago already has 65 million views.
Phew,
I'm not sure what a
that's
view is the same
insane.
on YouTube view. Is it the same, itself? Um, but that's quite a bit. I would be curious on how that paces views, but how does Elon and X Twitter, monetize a 65 million view? um, what that monetization scale is, and I could see a lot more people publishing it on there. I think Twitter needed the infrastructure to do it to get there. I think they'll get into the gaming side of things too, because I know Elon is a gamer too. Like he uploads some streams of him playing Diablo 4 or whatnot. But I mean, the quality looks good. I have it up on my side, and oh shit, audio.
I think the thing that's like annoying about that they're gonna
Sorry,
figure
my
out is
audio
like
just turned on like 100%. I was like, I can't hear shit.
that's funny. I think the thing that's like a
Uh,
little annoying that I was saying is like on YouTube you could like watch a video and then exit out and then come back and like it'll be at the same place, or like the ability to like scroll throughout the video I feel like is a little bit easier on YouTube that Twitter I'm sure is going to figure out. But I think that's such a smart strategic long-term play is to try and get these content creators to be like, hey, here's a safe haven for you to post your content. You're not going to have to worry about like content moderation policies
to the
and
content
getting like your
moderation
account
side,
removed.
that's a big part of it all too, because I mean, you can basically post whatever on X versus YouTube, and so I think people will be looking for it and knowing that you can have it as a source of unfiltered, un moderated content to a certain extent. I think a lot of creators are going to go there.
Plus
Maybe they'll try to
two, if you
publish on
think
YouTube, and if it gets banned, they'll still have it on Twitter.
we got a fail safe on Twitter. And like think about if you have like think about Mr. Beast. Like there's no other place that you would think about him posting his videos. It's YouTube. Like that's the place.
He is
And I know
branded
like
a YouTube
Rumble,
creator.
yeah, he is. Yeah, I know Rumble's gotten a bit more popular over the past couple of years here, but like there really isn't a single like competitor to YouTube for people posting long form video content. Like
Well, what
there
is
isn't
it?
one out there.
The career that someone could be, and you ask a lot of people, is not necessarily an influencer. A lot of people say YouTuber, right? YouTuber. It's like they've gotten that branded so much that the only place you can put your content is on YouTube to get paid. Twitch, sure, you can get paid there too, but isn't Amazon on Twitch? But anyways, um,
Yes, they did. Yeah, they acquired them.
so Twitter's a whole other revenue stream, for individuals, different audience too. Demographic would be very different. That's there. So, hmm,
I
let's
think it's
see.
super smart.
Let's see what
Super smart.
happens.
And then the other comment on that as well is you just think about like the nature of like long form video content, especially with whoever you like to watch on YouTube. Like you're going to consume, like if somebody posts a podcast or somebody's like a fitness influencer or whatever, you're watching 20 to 30 minutes of like their content. Like that's time on platform right there. So that's going to increase time on platform for users on Twitter and X. And then think about how many more ad placements that offers the platform there as well of just
Yeah.
in video ads. So it's like time on platform potentially could significantly increase month over month, year over year for the platform. And then the amount of video ad placements that are available is going to increase naturally on the platform. So like that could be like a double whammy for Elon there. We're like engagement on the platform increases, and then advertisers are seeing, wow, there's a lot of premium video ad placements that we can get in front of, and also the platform continues to grow. Like I feel like it could be a good user base growth for the platform, and then also long term help with getting some of those ad dollars back for the platform as well.
So I think another part that I don't know if he's talked about doing. I mean, Tucker Carlson's kind of doing his own show, but podcasts, right? I listen to, but watch a lot of podcasts. And typically they're done through Spotify, at least my ecosphere, but not all podcasts have video enabled. There's certain features that you have to do so. But like Twitter would be a great place to drop a podcast as well, because a lot of times people will drop it on YouTube, they'll drop it through Spotify later on. But then like Twitter would be another great channel for the placement of a podcast. We should be putting it out there, right, on X. Why not? Like, who knows
Agreed.
what we could get into there? Just not YouTube. Not just. I mean, I think a lot more marketers are on Twitter looking for marketing stuff rather than YouTube, right? Yeah, I think the podcast space, because a podcast is kind of a weird blend because podcasts were originally just audio, but a lot of times they're turning now into videos, and you're watching a more long form video. And people prefer to actually watch a podcast versus listen to a podcast, at least certain ones, I would say. It's more of a show at that point.
I think that's something that we should consider in 2024 is getting a Twitter account going and posting the pod on there.
All right, that's easy
I think
enough.
that's a no
Easy enough.
brainer.
We're gonna write it down.
All right, you want to
Okay, talking about posting, I want to talk about the one about posting because it's still
yeah.
social media related. So John Luber, he's an awesome paid media specialist. He's been out there for years. He's kind of honed in on Facebook as far as being like the Facebook expert. I've known about the guy for years. Maybe we'll have him on the podcast. I don't know if he join, but he's asking for people potentially. Anyways, he said that he published in 2023. He published a YouTube short every single day. And if we look, let me pull this up real quick. Share screen, window, Chrome tab. I don't know. Here we go. That should work. So here's some of the stats that he has. His views increased every single month. There's a reason why this happens unique to YouTube. Even if video doesn't get many views at first, it might be viewed months later due to search, and that's exactly what happened. So 41% of all of his views from shorts were coming from searches. I'm sure he's covering Facebook topics, etc. So it's becoming like a search engine. So he's creating like indexable content that basically are like pages on his website to result and get to. So yeah, 40% of his YouTube views were from search results. And so from that increase, he added over 4,000 subscribers in 2023, and he's got about 19,000 now. So what he grew like by a quarter, and his watch time, is obviously views all increased. So it's interesting. That's consistency over time, building shorts to get content, views, etc. Coming in here. I thought it was just powerful. Like doing something consistent over time will build results, and it can happen with shorts. It's just doing it. I don't know if you guys have a relevant topic to talk about every day, but I'm sure you could come up with something on some topic and build an audience within a year. But who wants to do it every year? That's discipline. A lot of people won't do it.
Yeah, that is tough. That is really tough to do that every single day for the year. So I respect that. Um, I don't. I got to check out some of his video content out there to see what he produces. But I will say I have found myself more recently searching for like how to do certain things on YouTube app and then watching a YouTube short as like a quick explainer or how to video. Um, that just like naturally happened over the past couple of weeks for me, but I feel like that's been like a really good go-to resource is as opposed to like clicking on like and watching like an entire video, seeing if somebody could like break something down pretty quickly in a short and show you how to do something. I found myself doing that a whole lot more recently.
Tutorials, huh? Right? Like
The,
quick briefs,
yeah,
cut through. Yeah, because
yep,
a lot of times the longer form it works and it's helpful from like an education standpoint. But if you're just looking for like the quick configuration, so maybe we should put that post about how to opt out of Google's uh, auto recommendations up on as a YouTube short and then publish to LinkedIn as a
agreed,
separate. Like hey, we have a channel, just create a short out of it, um, and just see what happens. Because
agreed,
monetization is obviously probably one of the biggest goals here, right? Monetization is passive income that comes through. This happens over time, so um, yeah, I
I think
think
that's a
this
good
is so.
call.
Yeah,
It's just
I
the
think
worst
this
when you
is
like are like deep into like a how-to video and then it like doesn't answer your specific question. It kind of like gets close to it or something. That's why I kind of like prefer a short because it's like right to the point. Like, is this what I'm like looking for or not? Um, but yeah, this is sick to see like doing this thing every single day here on short. Like, power to you, man. I respect the consistency there.
yes, 100%. Outside of that, man, the only other social media thing that I got to talk about, and I think we kind of wrap it with this, is let's see if how much of a headliner this one is. Let me share this real quick. God damn, this is where the internet's broken. We'll see. Let me share this screen. Okay, this is why the fucking internet's broken. This is when I pull up this website. This is completely side rant. I've done this plenty of times. But it's like, dude, I got a giant GoDaddy ad, I got a giant Klaviyo ad. This article's like halfway down the screen, and it's like, look, it's like it's hard to read. It's like impossible to read. It's horrible.
That just looks
Can't even
so
tell where the
terrible.
article stops and starts. Uh, All right. Anyways, this post from the MSN.com, where it says Wall Street Journal. Oh, I don't get that. Why aren't posting on social media as much anymore? Will we ever? So lots of people are logging to social media every day. Blah blah blah. Where's this? Where's this study? Where's the stat? In October, from data just companies consultant, 61% of respondents use the social media account using more selective about what they post. I don't know. Once again, I don't know how much this state is. I have to continue reading probably about paying for something to get in here. But they're saying that less people are posting on social media. I think uh, I could see personally I've posted less over the years, even with family stuff going on, etc. But I still lurk quite a bit, and I've transitioned my social media from places where I share content, like personal content. That's going to be private. That's going to be through like a Snap or a chat group or a text message with family. That's how I want to stay together with people. I don't want to put all my business out there, but I'm lurking, and I do look at other people's. Or maybe I'll do a quick story because I only know they're 24 hours, but I don't keep it permanent out there. So I think people probably have been more selective. But brands, I follow them all the time, or influencers. That's like a whole different thing where it's like, sure, you expect them to post. It's their marketing. I think it's just shifted from like, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong in who I follow and how I follow, but I even don't even see like my personal friends posting as much on social media. Like if I balanced it out, like influencers or brands versus personal posts, it's probably like 75% of um, you know more influencer brands posting than personal stuff. I think that's gone away or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe because I could kind of see how this could be a trend in terms of like the amount of posts are going down or the amount of like daily posts are going down. Because maybe we just got to the point where like people were getting on social and then people were starting to get like more comfortable posting like random like day-to-day stuff, and then you get like the Gary V's of the world saying, dude, you got to be posting 3 to 5 times every single day across each one of these platforms, and then got to the point where like it was so saturated with the amount of content across these platforms that brands are being more thoughtful with like how can we like stand out or have like premium content posts. So maybe not making as many posts, but making sure the posts you have are super valuable. Because I don't know, maybe we did get to the point where like people were super comfortable and would just post any type of fluff, kind of like blogs, where like you could just post as many as possible, and maybe now we're kind of reverting back towards more quality. That's kind of a guess, but that's where I can kind of see where that's coming from in that trend in terms of like less overall posting.
Yeah, and I'm be curious if they break it down to like personal, like relationship posting versus brands and influencers, the difference. Um, because it's like social media started off without any brands or influencers. Like you would just share stuff with friends and family on what you're doing. But that's changed. It's a place now for brands and influencers, not necessarily personal. Um, I feel like it'd be interesting if there was a retro social media app that I could get my parents and family to all adopt, and it's like we're sharing photos back and forth. You know,
Dude, that's Facebook.
otherwise it's like a text message. Yeah, I guess it is Facebook, really, right? It's like it's gone back. That's where you
Yeah.
want to post it to, because I know my family still posts a lot on the Facebook side of things. I'm just not on there, so hmm.
Oh
Things
man.
change and evolve, though. I don't know. We'll see where it goes.
uh, it'll be um, yeah, interesting to see moving forward there. But I do think there's something to be said about like I don't know the quality of content that you're posting as opposed to maybe like the amount of posts that you're making. Um,
Oh, for sure.
I
As a
don't know.
brand, yeah, an influencer, 100%. Yeah.
Is there anything you want to hit on with this GPT store? Anything
Uh,
worthwhile mentioning?
Not yet. I want to see where it goes. Yeah, we'll wait on the GPT store. Just basically any of the GPTs that you can create. You can go search an index now, and there's a bunch of applications. They will be monetizing it, which I'm curious about. But I wonder how they're going to rank bots. Is it just on usage? So I would guess if it's on the GPT store, if you create a bot, I guess we'll just call it a bot. If you get views for it, you'll get monetized. The rankings are they based on views? I would then just I don't know go to Fiverr and get a bunch of people to use it so you inflate your view counts so you could be in the top 10 and then monetize it because I'm sure it's like going to be gamed. It's probably already gamed. buy GPT store views. I actually
For
tried to
sure.
have GPT create a bot that would go out on itself to inflate my views, but it won't visit their own links. So they say, no, we can't build that.
Dang.
So,
I like the thought process, though.
yeah, I was like, yeah, let's see how we can break it.
Oh, man. All right, cool. I think that does it. I think that covered all the topics on the docket for today. Yeah, like we
Yeah, a
said,
little bit of grab bags of stuff, bag topics, but I think it was still fun to go through.
For sure. I think out of everything that we spoke about, I feel like Twitter videos is going to be the most impactful thing moving forward, because I feel like we're going to see way more content creators start posting on that platform, and I think video is just going to continue to expand there. I'd be surprised if it didn't.
Yeah, 100%. Well, thanks for catching up, Trevor.
Thank you, sir. We'll be back next week, and then yeah, like we said, 2024. We got some nice guests coming up here, ironing out the show a bit further, and then yeah, seeing if maybe we'll be posting the full episode on Twitter moving forward. But I think nonetheless, we got some nice plans moving forward, and yeah, we'll catch everybody back here next week.